All right, couple injuries to note here. Guys that did not finish the game. Luther has an ankle that we need to take a look at. Hopefully have more information tomorrow. Eamon didn't finish. He had a hamstring that we'll see the severity tomorrow as well. And then Rome had a little re-aggravation of the foot, so we'll see where he's at as well going forward. Beyond that, in terms of the game, I thought the guys did a great job coming out and taking care of the business. We talked about that here this week. You know, you come off a very highly emotional game the week before, and we ended up on the loss side of that one. And it's the easy thing to do is allow that to spiral out of control, and the guys didn't allow that to happen. They came back to work and handled the process really well, and like I said, they took care of business here this week. I thought the coolest thing about it, not only the weather, those guys handled it extremely well, but to see our fans come out in full force like they did and really made an impact on that game. You could hear them, you could feel them on out there, and I could tell that our opponent was struggling with the crowd. So we're going to need that going forward. Couple more home games here this regular season, and we'll keep it moving. I can't say enough good things here about our defense. You know, I think this was really an outstanding performance. I know we gave up a couple explosives that we'd like to have back, but outside of one or two plays, they really did a phenomenal job, you know, shutting down the run game, making it second and long, third and long, and getting off the field. When you combine that with the takeaways, once again, you know, 3 takeaways there in the second half, which were enormous for us, it really, I thought, carried the day for us. Offensively, tough opponent. That's a really good defense. You know, we talked about it being a top 3 defense going into the week, and that proved to be the case. You know, we had some success at times, but yet it wasn't as consistent as we would like it to be. Moved the ball somewhat well in the first half, but yet didn't capitalize with points the way we would like to. And in the second half, we were able to find a couple more opportunities for points. So. All in all, I thought it was a pretty good day. Special teams came through for us. Duvernay had some big returns. Our kickoff unit once again showed why we believe they're a weapon for us, and so that was really encouraging to see as well. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up from there.
We see a lot of Caleb putting with the accuracy, just putting the ball where it would lead the receivers into more yards.
Did I see that today? Is that what yeah, once again, I got to go back and I got to look at it. Sometimes my perspective doesn't always show that for me, but yeah, I thought he did a good job finding some open guys, and it did feel like we had a little bit more run after catch here this week than what we've maybe had over the last few weeks, and so usually that's a good sign.
What was your perspective? A game where everything kind of looks a little better, a little sharper for him, passing wise, can be a step forward after this.
Yeah, once again, I got to go back and look and see if that is the case. Where I know our completion percentage is maybe a tick higher than what it's been, so that's a good thing. But you know, we'll go back. We'll find out what we did well and what we need to clean up. But there's a number of areas. You know, you win a game 31-3, and yet there's still a number of areas where we need to address, and we need to continue to get better as a team.
What was your perspective on that second touchdown pass to DJ, where Caleb goes right and just makes that kind of ridiculous throw?
Yeah, no, it reminded me a little bit of, was it Philly that he threw it to OZ in the back of the end zone? You know, he's rolling to his right, and we just barely missed OZ. I think that was Philly. And similar type concept where he's rolling to his right, and he finds the guy on the back of the end zone behind him like that, and I would say 99% of quarterbacks, you tell them don't even waste your time looking back there and trying to make that throw. There's usually bad things that happen, and yet he's got the ability to make that throw. And you know, DJ made a heck of a play there right on the back line as well. So yeah, that was one of those highlight moments there.
Ben, what specifically happened with Roman? You guys, there was a pretty good chance he was going to play, and how did he?
Pre-game re-aggravated the foot, so. We'll find out more tomorrow, just the extent of that.
Do you know if he's going to play again this season, or is it?
We'll find out more tomorrow. I really
serious where that's.
I really don't know. I really don't know right now how the extent of it. You know, something like that happens right before a game, and you're solely focused on getting the next guy ready to perform at a high level.
2 weeks in a row that's happened to really important players. How frustrating is that? How do you kind of process that?
I really don't process it. All I think about is what we need to do to win the game.
Ben, what was your reaction? Obviously, you haven't seen the film, but your immediate reaction to the way your offensive line did against such a talented Browns line, especially featuring someone like Myles Garrett?
Yeah, I thought we did some good things, and there's a couple that we wish we had back. The false starts frustrate me a little bit. We're past that here at this point. And then we have a ball handling snafu there in the second half. That can't happen. I mean, those are things that those should be behind us now at this point. Those guys know that. They understand that, because when you face these good defenses, these good teams, you really can't give them anything. You don't have any mulligans. And so other than that, though, I do think those guys came out and battled. I think they were looking forward to the challenge. You talk about all week how fast the linebacking crew is that we were going against, and how you got to take the proper angle. And then obviously their defensive front, their get off, it's something that's very difficult to simulate over the course of practice. And so it can be a shock if you're not prepared for it. And I thought our guys handled it really well.
How intentional was it at the beginning of the week to set a tone when you said that you were desperate for a victory, to create that sense of urgency that you guys showed today?
Yeah, our guys understand it. They know where we are in the season. They know what's out in front of us, and they know how competitive the NFC is. So it doesn't take much from the head coach at this point. They get it, And I've been saying all along, we got some veteran leaders that they've been here, they've done that, they've won games, they've been close before, and so I think we got a really good big picture view of where we are and where we're going and what we need to do in the here and the now.
Does winning 10 games mean anything to you?
Not really. We're on to the next one. It's 10's great, but it's not enough.
What impressed you most about DeMarco's play on leaping interception when he tipped it up to himself?
Yeah, I think that was a game changer to me. You're always looking for a little bit to spark your team, ignite your team there, and in the second half, that's really what it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, was the score 14-3 at that point? Yeah, so we really needed it, because we were able to capitalize and make that into 21-3, and it felt like we took firm control of the game there at that point. And so he's done such a great job coming in, at the end of training camp or whenever that was, and picking up the defense. I know he had some familiarity there with DA, but to go from a guy contributing on special teams to playing significant snaps at Mike linebacker, I think that's a big credit to him.
Then you guys have 3 huge games left. How do you feel about your team's readiness for that kind of stretch, especially compared to where you guys were at the start of the season?
Yeah, no, we're definitely a better football team than we were that first month of the season. And probably these 3 opponents we're playing coming up, they're all going to say the same thing. And so I know at this point, I know we're a good football team. And I'm looking forward to seeing this competition over the next 3 weeks, as they are. I think our players are excited to be in this spot. They put themselves in we're 10-4, and we've got a lot to play for here over the next 3 weeks. And really, in this league, you can't ask for a lot more than that.
We talked a lot about DJ last week and the lack of production. And you kind of, these things happen the way games go. Did you foresee this at all, the way he was going to play today and the kind of production?
I think he's been playing this way every week, and it's just we haven't been able to get him the ball or get the ball in his hands. And so we're able to target him a few more times, and he came through with some big plays for us. And, hopefully sometimes these things come in bunches. You kind of have a dry spell, and then all of a sudden he could come on hot here over the next 3 games and just really take off. And that's the way it tends to happen, which would be a good thing for us.
It's a what you call on those plays like a hero post, and DJ did a great job beating his man. And I actually tried to throw one to OZ versus the Eagles, and so it's popped up. When you got that much time, when you're rolling out and things like that, you peak those type of plays, and if he beats his defender the way he did, you throw it up, and not throw it up, but you throw it and give him a chance. And that's what he did. He beat his defender, beat the corner pretty bad, and then all I had to do was throw a high back 5 is what we call it, back at the end zone. And he went up and made a great play for us. And in that moment, it was needed.
All week everybody talked about getting off to a fast start. You were able to do it. How important was it to get off to that 14-0?
Yeah, extremely important. I think, that you want to start the game off every week like that, but definitely this week, not allowing them to get going, not allowing them to, feel maybe some energy or feel, they can, that they can beat us. That's our mindset going into this game, and starting fast and kind of diminishing anything that or any thoughts that may pop up of positivity on their side. That's the mindset going into, these games.
On that ball to DJ, what were your initial reads on that play before you saw
Yeah, Cole. Number one was Cole, and then he got taken down by the DN, which is typically the guy that makes me get the ball out. And so, with all that space, I end up peeking. My other receivers on the front side, the other couple guys, and then from there it's just seeing and feeling space. Seeing nobody was in the end zone back there with DJ, and just give him a good ball.
How do you describe the significance of that sequence being?
Yeah. You go. These are moments that I talk about and have talked about for a couple of weeks now. Is when you get the interceptions or you get the turnovers and fumbles or whatever the case may be. You want to go down and score. It creates it creates a sense of momentum for us, and it gets everybody in it. It gets everybody going, and that momentum is important to help us win games. It shifting and shifting energy, shifting momentum, shifting the points and things like that, and adding one more possession for us is huge. And so that's something that we preach, is something that we're going to keep harping on, something that we're going to keep growing at. Is when defense creates these turnovers, we got to go score.
DJ, is that in any way an ill-advised throw from your point of view?
Nah, I can make any throw.
How did you feel about your overall throwing accuracy today, and specifically leading your receivers into empty space?
Don't know. I got to go back and watch the film. There's probably times where I could have done a better job. Maybe the Luther. I can't remember if it was before half or not, but threw it right past the backer, and maybe I could have brought it up a little bit more so Luther can maybe catch it a little bit cleaner. It was the one he dropped going to the right. Maybe that was a little low, but a couple passes I feel like I did well. A couple passes I probably could have did better, and we're going to keep finding ways to get better and up in our chance to win the game by finding completions, delivering good balls, runner footballs to the guys, and allowing them to keep making these damn big plays for us.
What happened just before half when you got hit in the leg?
His shin hit me right in kind of middle of my leg when I was going down, and like a bruise or contusion on it. That was really it.
Caleb, just how difficult was it playing out there in those conditions?
We practice outside in this weather with no heaters, no benches, no anything, and so it's football weather. It's game day. You got a lot of adrenaline. We got the benches, the heaters, the jackets, which everybody does a good job with, and then you go out there and you get going and you forget about those things. This is Chicago. You either got drafted here or you came here, and so you're expecting that when it comes down to these times of the year, and it's an advantage to us, I would say.
Caleb, you get to face Green Bay twice now in
Yep.
3 weeks. They'll be here in 5-6 days, whatever it is. How much are you looking forward to that second matchup with the Packers?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm, ended up obviously throwing the pick, as everybody knows, in those last moments, and kind of let that off the hook, throwing such a bad ball to Cole, and so I'm definitely excited. I'm excited for the moment. They're coming here, and it's another game for us, but I'm excited.
He's in view on DeAndre's second touchdown run. What did you see that allowed him to find that crease?
Yeah, he ended up squeaking through there. I thought he was actually going to get tackled. There was a couple guys surrounding him, and he's a hell of a back for us, and he made a really good play for us to put up 7 points on the board. He squeaked through a couple arm tackles, and made a great play. Super excited for him and for us.
Caleb, you talk about not letting Cleveland get the game, right?
Mhm.
What's it like to be on a team and leading a team that you can do that you guys can accomplish that and kind of just take over and dominate?
Yeah, that's what we speak. That's what we preach. Offense, defense, special teams. The killer instinct and starting fast and all these different things. And we've had some ups and downs, but I think we did a solid job with that this week of kind of not letting the team get into it, the other team get into it from all three phases. I think we need to keep that going. I think that we will. and I'm excited for, that to be able to help lead these guys in these moments.
We heard from. Oh, you go for it. We heard from Ben talk about the importance of this game and understanding that what's at stake. Did you feel that during the course of this week, the preparation, that the focus that was there to?
Yeah, I think we've done a good job overall this year. The focus, the preparation, coaches have done a hell of a job, putting us in the right spots, and then us going out there and believing in the coaches and executing the plays. I think we've done a good job with that so far this year, and we got to keep doing that and keep finding ways to get better overall, just as a team. And we left a lot out there, even though 31 points is, whatever the case may be. There was a lot left out there, at least on the offensive side of the ball.
You guys have Packers, 49ers, Lions with your playoff hopes on the line.
Yep.
How much do you like that?
Love it.
Competition perspective, and also how ready do you feel like this team is for something like that?
Yeah, I think we're ready. I think we've played teams that have a bunch of wins. We play teams that don't. We've played close games. We played games where we've beaten teams by a lot. We've played, teams where we had to win with special teams, offense, defense, whatever case, running ball, whatever case. And so I feel that we're ready for just about anything, hot weather, cold weather, whatever the case may be. We're going to go out there and go out there and fight. I do know that, and I like our chances, us versus anybody.
Caleb, on that touchdown pass, it seemed like you did sort of a celebration from your arms. Did you take any inspiration from that?
It's a freezing cold, and it's cold outside. Brought my arms warm up a little bit.
There's a soccer player, Cole.
Oh, Cole Palmer, yeah, dog. I've seen some of his stuff, watched his ball, watch him, play soccer, and he's pretty damn good, and he's done that celebration a few times. And Cold Palmer is what they call him, and that inspiration kind of came from that a little bit.
What is your first touchdown to DJ? A little bit man-to-man.
Yep.
Backside of that same end zone and basic pitch and catch there.
Yeah, that's something that we've practiced that play so many times, and to be able to see it come to life. And DJ ran a great route. It actually did not work yesterday in practice, but we've repped it so many times that we've got so much faith and belief and trust. Coach made a great call, and DJ ran a great route. Just put the ball in the back of the end zone, let DJ go get it.
What didn't work in the practice one?
We ended up just falling down and running into each other and things like that. And in those moments, it's like, Coach likes things to look a certain way, and it didn't look that certain way. So it was high on my totem pole for calls, but I'm happy you called, and DJ did a great job.
Caleb, you have 151 passer rating, or you did today.
Yep.
Passes. What is it about that part of this offense, given how big of a part of this offense that is, the play action? What is it that makes you so successful in those situations? Yeah,
I don't know. I was told I couldn't get under center and turn my back to the defense. So I don't know. No, I think I think the guys up front, they do a hell of a job for me. It all goes into it. Whether it's the run game, pass game, play action, keeper, all of it goes into it in the sense of we make and we try to make, and kind of take this advice from Peyton is, you want to make your run game, your keeper, and your pass or your play action game all look the same. And so then it allows me to have more time. And then I call my O-linemen the Avengers. And then you got those guys up front. So they give me enough time with enough space with the receivers we got and special talent we have. We'll go make plays, and then when it's not there, I think Coach trusts me to check the ball down or go make a play for us.